Thank you. Good morning. This good day was from another one of our colonies down under. Thought they'd be nice to wear. Every time I come to Boston as a Brit, in spite of some of my Irish background, I think of what might have been. If only King George III had held on to these disobedient colonies. Just think, British America has a ring to it. President Margaret Thatcher in the White Palace. Lord Donald Trump, Field Marshal Oliver North, receiving the royal pardon. Sir John Scully. McDonald's tea shops. 45 billion cream teas sold so far. Cricket, your national ball game. America, last in the Olympics. Driving on the left-hand side of the road, but you do that in Boston anyway. A clean Boston harbor. We'd have cleaned that tea out years ago. The American Revolution, of course, was a squabble between a superpower of superior beings, the upper class, and these colonials, these
Hey, you can't say that. We were the patriots. We were the good guys.
Rogues,
you were the colonial oppressors. You can't say that.
See what I mean?
You can't
Still
say that.
riffraff.
We won.
Still colonials.
No.
These,
we were on the right side.
these,
we were the good guys.
Good God, you can't keep them down, can you? Don't know. We'll just have to put them down. Bring the army in. Do something.
We already settled that one.
These patriots, quote unquote, are from Britannica Software, which is a subsidiary, of course, of Encyclopedia Britannica. They're displaying a new software package in booth. Give us a booth number. No, you don't know? See?
No.
See? We can stay superior.
We won the war. That's all that matters.
See? Anything above 10, they're in trouble.
Well, we don't have to stay here.
But it is called Revolution 76. Tell you something about it. It's a historical simulation that engages users in the American colonists, ill-fated, albeit successful, because we allowed it. Next time we're going to send the boys over. Your struggle for independence, I'm certainly going to check it out. Suggest you do the same. Anyway, the war between this British superpower and a few colonials was really a squabble between friends. But nonetheless, it was a revolution that changed the world. And today, all of us here are part of another revolution, and one that reaches beyond natural boundaries, reaches beyond geographic boundaries, and reaches to the farthest corners of the earth. In my previous lives at Apple, I've seen Apple computers used in places you just wouldn't believe. And it's a revolution in which we're all winners. We've all heard of how this revolution at Apple started in a garage. Apple, the company, did. But the ideas, the inspiration, came from a club, a grassroots gathering of computer enthusiasts. In 1975, and that isn't very long ago, computer hobbyists started to come together at meetings like this. Well, maybe a bit smaller, maybe a little bit smaller, to share insights, excitement, and ideas about emerging microprocessor technology. Individuals like the two Steves, Woz and Jobs, came together at the Homebrew Computer Club. Sounds like an interesting name. I wonder what they were drinking at the time. It was the first real user group, and they came together because they shared an interest in technology and its potential. Through the club, and born out of these two kids' passion, the elemental insights that formed the basis for Apple Computer were realized. First and fundamentally was the realization that microprocessor technology had become affordable for ordinary people. Engineers at Intel have miniaturized electronic circuitry, plunked it onto a silicon chip, and in the process, of course, they made it less expensive. The small size and the relatively low cost of this technology meant that computing power that was previously only found in big mainframes, in air-conditioned back rooms of large corporations, could now be brought down right onto the desktop. Now, this was hot stuff if you're an engineer or a programmer, but for the rest of us, for ordinary people, it was meaningless until the second founding vision of Apple was realized. If you could make it easy to use, ordinary people would use it. Not just enthusiasts, not just engineers, but students, homemakers, business people, middle managers, ordinary people with people just like us. And they used it not because they had a compelling interest in the technology itself, but what they could accomplish with it. The third insight, and this is what helped launch this company of ours, and really launch the entire industry, was if you could put this incredible power into the hands of millions of people, it would trigger a revolution and change the way that we learn, the way we do business, and why not, the way we enjoy ourselves. Now, in this 12 years, and it's just 12 years now since Apple was born, there's been a revolution. These three elements have converged to form the basis of our company. But it's taken more than that. It's taken passion. The French believe, by the way, the British have no passion. But we have passion. And I've seen tremendous passion in this company. And it was the passion in Apple and the people that are around Apple to change the world, to free people from the mundane and the tedious, and to inspire them with powerful tools to help them be their creative and their productive best. It's that passion that spawned the development of first the Apple I, the hobbyist machine, and then, of course, the Apple II, that brought the power of computer technology and put it into the hands of people like you and me. It's a passion that has fueled the creativity of engineers, software developers, and users. And it's made enthusiasts out of unsuspecting third graders, secretaries, and those middle managers, and people at home. And it really is still that passion that drives our imagination and permeates our products today. Apple's products and personal computers have come a long way from a machine that was built to show the homebrew computer club that some kind of personal computer was a possibility, to desktop workstations with the power of mainframes. And Apple's come a long way too, from a couple of kids that had a questionable credit line, nearly as good as mine now, to a Fortune 200 company that sells in 89 countries worldwide and has sales this year which will top $5 billion a year. But through it all, our founding vision remains the same. It must. And with it, our unwavering commitment to make the best personal computer tools possible. You know, when you buy a company's products, you buy the company. You buy its vision. Its vision is articulated in those products. So you better get to understand and know what that vision is. We have a very clear vision. It doesn't waver. Based on three founding insights, and I'll quote, "I always wanted a computer. Microprocessors make them affordable. Now I can build one and show it off at the club." We still want to show our products off. We still want to make our users enthusiasts. Paul Tyrrell, who was the first dealer and started up the bike shop, said, If you make them simple, more people can use them. The headline of our first Apple II brochure said, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." And that's still our goal. Steve Jobs, who said, "The computer is the most remarkable tool ever built. Putting it into the hands of thousands, millions of people, of individuals, would trigger a revolution." He didn't say that the computer was a revolution. He said it's what people do with it that's a revolution. We recognize the importance of this technology and our responsibility to help shape it. And our vision is based and built on our past. To give people like you and I tools which inspire them to achieve great things and that will help them change their world. That sentiment is reflected in our advertising, which I've lived with now for 5 years and believe in, the power to be your best. But behind the overall vision, there must be a product vision. And it's clear. To design products without compromise, to be totally you-responsive. To provide tools that elicit the best in us, a spirit of creativity, a spirit of exploration, a spirit of courage, a spirit of confidence, and a spirit of enthusiasm. As John Scully, our CEO, consistently and always commands, the very best computing experience possible, no compromise, period. The engineers certainly respond to that. And how do we do this? How do we adhere to this product mission? One, by making the individual our design point, the user. Engineering all the elements to work in harmony with each other so it responds instantly and intuitively to the user's touch and the user's need. By not allowing any competing features just to be bolted on. You ought to look around at some other claims going on right now. But don't bolt them on because then they have to fight to coexist. Harmony is critical. Providing upward extensibility, always to keep the Apple user out in front. To make sure that inspiring new uses, new applications are made available to the Apple user first. Providing consistency to encourage exploration across a whole number of applications without fear and in fun. And by offering a wide product range on both the Apple II and on the Mac, we've got to have the right tool for the job. As you know today, there are two Apple product families, Apple II and Macintosh. But they were both born of and continue to be living evidence of our product design philosophy. The Apple II is our flagship product. It launched the industry, it set the standard, it is the longest lived, it is the largest selling personal computer available today. It's been on the market for 12 years and we've sold nearly 5 million. It's the right idea at the right time. And Apple II is still the right idea. It's been proved to be more than a timely innovation. While the invention of the microprocessor inspired many other companies, do you see them around today? They all claim the perfect microcomputer, but very few remain. Apple II, on the other hand, survived, and it's carried on, and it will carry on. I heard somebody yesterday describe that in Apple, there were pockets of support for Apple II. Well, I hope I'm not described as a pocket. And much of its reason, the reason for its success, lies in the product's design. On the other hand, if we switch to Mac, it's the computer where we're pushing the edges of technology, where many exciting technological innovations are taking place. It offers HyperCard, a software tool that's so far ahead of anybody else. It lets you organize, search for information, customize in the way that you think. non-sequentially, not hierarchically. It offers a great platform for multimedia. And it's intuitive, it's powerful, and it's easy to use. And I think that's another part of Apple going right back to its roots in ensuring that HyperCard was given with every Mac. An important thing to remember about these two computer families is that while they each have their own unique strengths and their own personality, and the people that use them have their own separate personalities, they do work well together. I expect them to coexist, feed off each other well into the foreseeable future. And I know what the future means. Apple has one of the approaches to life which is very different. Many people just look at the process of living and seeing where it takes them, a little bit like the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. Apple doesn't work like that. It tends to try and do the impossible of setting forward visions of the future and then getting there. So when we talk about these two products working together, the environment they're going to work in will change. We must remember that. And we expect users to create, produce, and learn with Apple computers as long as they exist in the world. Today, millions of Apple II and Macintosh users are changing the world. Whether it's in the classroom, the boardroom, the living room, we're absolutely constantly amazed by what people achieve by our products. It's beyond our imagination because it's driven by your imagination. We believe that the change that we've been able to lead in this industry has been because of the incredible support of the people that have worked around us, developers and the dealers, the people that use our products, and people we can't let down, and we can't let down. Last October, we had a meeting in Palo Alto during an earthquake, because it often does it out there. And we talked about our future, what type of company we should be, and we questioned what we were and where we came from. And the thing that came out of that, and John Scully was there, who heads our company, Jean-Louis Gasset, who heads R&D, was there, Alan Lauren, who heads the whole US operation, Mike Spindler, who runs Europe, and Del Yoakum, who now runs the Pacific. All came back down to this: is the one thing we cannot afford to give up as a company. We have to be different. We cannot be like IBM. We cannot be like DEC. We cannot be like Compaq. We cannot be by Sun, because of the people that support us. And those are the people that we have to work closely with. I think we've been screwing it up a number of times in different places, but we're all human beings. But that relationship is absolutely essential for us. Since the first Apple I was rolled out by Apple, there's been a feeling that we are part of and immersed in change, driving the process of change, driven by a belief that there is a possibility of real change in our world. As I've traveled around the world, and I've been in the ghettos of every city in Latin America, and Far East, and Africa, and Europe, change is needed. And this week I was talking at the Medical Health Sciences Conference in Memphis, and they're talking about change. This is change for survival. And when I talk to people in education, they're talking about change for survival. So change is necessary. We believe in it. We're part of it. We help drive it. We help to inspire the people that use our products to change it. And we know that since the process of Apple coming into this market, the world has changed. We can't claim it all. Love to put it in our advertising. Apple's changed the world. We can't. Most of it, that's down to you. We think our products have shaken it up a bit. We believe that, because you've shaken it up a bit. But it really is you, Apple users, that are changing the world, and that's what we celebrate today. Our community and the amazing achievements in personal creativity, productivity, and education that have resulted. Our promise to you is that we will continue to provide you with the most inspiring computer tools that we can make, and the most exciting computing experience that we can imagine. Thank you for your time.